So you left kind of like tropical paradise.
Yeah, I did leave
this
the tropical
grey.
paradise to come to grey, to grey skies.
Why? Why?
I think once I stopped playing badminton, my dad still wanted me to have a degree and have some kind of backup. And India at the time didn't have music production courses, and he said, go study what you want, but I want you to figure it out. And also it's coming at a time when realistically my dad couldn't afford to do it, but he just wanted to make sure that we found a way so I had, you know, a degree that I wanted.
So how old were you here?
I was 18 going to 19, and I applied. Well, I looked at Berkeley in America because that was like such
place
an
to
amazing,
be.
yeah, and so that was 100 grand a year. So it was already quite difficult for my dad to do this, and then being that was just like completely out of the question. And then I looked at the UK. That was the next best option, and that's how I ended up here. And then I remember coming here when I was 19, and I was so grateful that I got the opportunity. I initially didn't want to do it, but I just wanted to like spend some money on a studio, like get my dad to spend like 10% of what he would have to get a studio in India and just do that and go all in on the dance music thing. But I knew I needed an experience of meeting more people, and you know I couldn't be in that room all the time. So
had you been here before moving here?
No, I'd never been to a Western country ever before up until then.
And how did it like? Because you must have had your idea of what it would be like.
Because of how much how many movies I've watched and stuff like that. I always kind of knew how it would feel and how to fit in almost, because I knew how to act and behave. It's weird because that's through a movie, because that is acting in itself. And I felt like I was being an actor coming here, because I remember I walked into my accommodation and this American accent just came out of me, because I felt like I had to fit in and I didn't want to be stereotyped, which is awful to think about, and I don't want other Indian kids to ever have to feel like that and do that. But I just wanted to fit in, and I felt like an inside outsider, whereas like I knew the culture so well because I grew up watching it and consuming it, that it felt like I knew it well enough to fit in. And I kind of did. I definitely did fit in, but I couldn't be myself completely. And also people knew, oh yeah, he is Indian. He's got a different, you know, like approach to the way he thinks about life. But I'd keep that sheltered. I didn't want to be my true self to these people. I just wanted to like fit in almost, and I had this like brooding lost identity in me that eventually had to come out in some way, shape or form. And I think 6 months in, I remember someone saying, like a brown person, British brown person, saying I have an Indian accent when I sing. And I remember just going into my bedroom and like opening a book every day and just reading in this accent. Where now I speak to everyone this way, and that I've had to mold myself to the person I am today, which I wish, again, I didn't have to do. And I wish we start portraying Indian accents as cool, and you know, it's not something to make fun of, and so hopefully other kids don't feel that way.
So I guess, did you feel pressured, like you had to be this guy? You had
and I feel like I really applaud some like other Indian. There's so many other Indians who would not do that, and they would just, you know, be themselves. And I wish I had that kind of resilience to be that person. That's why now I'm so vocal about it, because I've come full circle and I'm really confident about where I am and where I come from.
It's tough as a teenager coming to a brand new country and being yourself.
I was so scared. I just knew I didn't want to be outcast in any way, and I hadn't been around that many people in so long that I just felt like I just need to be one of the gang. You know? And now all my friends from uni are so great, like they are just so happy that I've come to my own, and I understand, and they almost wish I didn't have to do that too. You know? Because they said they would have still been my friend either way.
That's the thing.
But it's like a few bad experiences make you think that way about life. And, but eventually through that phase of uni, I got to ended up at a vocal coach because I saw those old like Paul Robinson stuff start singing background vocals, and I was like, let me try doing that. Let me sing a little bit.
So was that even before you even left India? You hadn't been singing?
No, I hadn't been singing because I was still doing the chill stuff, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do the chill stuff and I'll do like backing over the singer, and I can do that. And so I went to her, and she changed the way I sang completely. And in 3 months, she was just like, you need to sing, like you need to be the main singer, like you need to figure this out.
Shout out to a vocal coach.
Yeah, shout out to her. And from that point on, because I've been producing for so long, I could then develop in my own bedroom and figure out what I wanted to sing over, because that's when the world opened up to me. It was like, oh, I can be a singer. I don't have to just be a dance music act. I could I can be John Mayer now, you know? And that's when it clicked to me. It was like, that was the first moment I realised I could be what I'm doing now.
Had your taste changed and led to that a little bit? Like, were you listening to less EDM now and more?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think UK definitely had an influence on my music tastes. All my friends were listening to like Frank Ocean and Tyler the Creator. And, eventually I got into Brockhampton. And I definitely was starting to lift, my world musically had expanded so much and sonically expanded so much that it made my tastes change a lot, and my approach to thinking about music changed completely. And that's why they're my biggest inspiration now, because they came at a time when I was just learning to sing, and they were all singers obviously, and so that really influenced how I thought about being an artist as a singer, because those are my reference points with Tyler, Frank and Brockhampton, and that's like the hardest trio to have as a reference point. So and then I just tried making loads of Brockhampton type music, and one of the songs was Won't You that I made at that time, and you can definitely hear, it's like the same chords as one of the Brockhampton songs.
Really?
And you can hear that reference clearly with the pitched vocals and all that kind of thing. It was definitely them.
For sure.
But yeah, I just felt disconnected to part of my identity that I really had, that was hidden for so long. And now through this whole process, I'm like a completely new person with my Indian identity so strong about how I am. Even all my friends now, I do some of the things I used to do in India around them, like my habits and stuff, where I was scared that, and I'm teaching my friends loads of Indian words and like getting them onto like loads of Indian food, and I'm so proud of that now, and I'm so grateful that it took me to that journey, and I'm being so open and honest about it, so other kids don't go, I need to fit into a white context or Western context. Like, I just want the world to see how beautiful Indian culture is, and see how beautiful the art and the creatives coming out of it are. And
you don't feel like you have to kind of wear a mask about it, I guess, as much?
Yeah, I feel so free and liberated now. And it's scary sometimes, because there has never been an Indian artist move from a different country and try and make it in the music industry in a Western country. There have been very few, close to none, that have tried and done that well, and so that is really scary. I feel misunderstood a lot sometimes from the industry, because I'm not British Indian or American Indian.
You're just Indian.
I'm just Indian, but then I have the accent, so it feels like in India I don't fit in anymore, and so I'm struggling with that a lot with my identity. But
do you struggle with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I definitely have moments of struggling with that, like especially with the people I surround myself with and I work with, and that really gets in the way sometimes.